That sounds so fun. Oh man, that's so fun. Yeah. Oh my god. We're gonna have a good time.
I came into contact with somebody from one of the big four, ended up becoming kind of a mentor to me. He's now a member of our club.
Man, when I first saw my first Hell's Angel standing there, I was like, that's what I want to be, man.
If you're running a three-piece, just like you know, it is truly an outlaw standard. Doesn't make you a one percenter, but it makes you an outlaw.
This is what I believe in, you know, and it was awesome to see that my brothers believed in me.
It's the wolf leading the sheep, man. You know, the sheep need to open their eyes because they're about to walk off the cliff where a whole other pack of wolves are at the bottom.
If you were getting your lunch money taken before you put them rags on, if they catch you by yourself, they're going to take your lunch money again.
I try to be around the guys and hang out with them as much as possible and get to know them, because that's really what it's about.
The Hells Angels are being arraigned.
One man was stabbed in the chest, another was knocked out, who faced criminal charges, including charges of hate crimes as well as gang allegations. One defendant faces an attempted murder charge, so this certainly appears to be a widespread investigation.
Welcome to this episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today we're going to talk about the bikie boss that is on the run from the authorities over in Australia. It's a pretty wild story. It's crazy. I looked into his background, and we're going to go over some of it. It's pretty insane that he's still even alive after all the stuff he's been through. We're going to talk about that, some of his criminal past. It's pretty wild. And we're going to talk about the Hells Angels down there in, I believe it's the Carolinas, the Red Devils, the Hells Angels, the situation they had down there with the pagans. We're going to go all over the place and talk about a bunch of things. So before we get started, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell your mother's brother, sister's friend about Chat with Staxx, the dopest motorcycle content on YouTube. I appreciate everyone taking the time to watch this show. You guys are all great. I have a lot of people that are supporting me, and I really appreciate it. We are growing at a very fast pace. We're at 18,100 almost. So I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching. Floyd, what's going on? How are you? Thank you for joining me today. Jimmy Mack, good afternoon. Maddie Marinero, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while. Steve, what's going on? I appreciate all you guys. Thank you. So there's so much to talk about. A lot of things are going on. You know, we talk about motorcycle crashes over here and different things. So we're going to start it with a 19-year-old motorcyclist dies after a crash on I-95 in south of Bay Meadow Road. Now, this is in Jacksonville, Florida. A fatal crash involving a motorcycle and a sedan occurred Sunday morning on Interstate 95 in Duval County. According to the Florida Highway Patrol, the incident happened around 12:18 a.m. south of Bay Meadow Road. The FHP said a 19-year-old motorcycle rider from Phoenix, Arizona was speeding south when the motorcyclist collided with the left rear of the sedan. The impact caused the motorcycle driver to be thrown from the vehicle. Usually they say separated from the motorcycle. I don't know why they said that, but he was thrown from the vehicle. The driver of the sedan, to a controlled stop on the outside shoulder of the highway. The motorcycle driver was wearing a helmet but suffered fatal injuries. So it didn't matter he had a helmet on. He still passed away. The FHP said the sedan driver was not injured. Crash and homicide investigators on the highway patrol are handling the case. I wonder why homicide's handling the case when it was a motorcycle crash. I mean, and down in Florida, 29 motorcyclists have died from crashes so far this year. Jacksonville is on track to see more deaths than in 2024. A lot of people are passing away on motorcycles. It's very sad. Just if you're riding a motorcycle, be aware of your surroundings. Just know that a car can pull out in front of you and it happens that quick. People have passed away. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from. Cars don't care. They have no feelings, you know. Demo, what's going on? How are you? Thanks for watching. Joe Dello, what's good? I like that I'm seeing some old faces up here. Of course I got more twin Dingleberry content. I just interviewed Monsoon last night. I'm going to drop part 1 in the interview tonight. It's very informative. And I got a video from the live they did. I believe it was the night before last night, where the Outlaw Brotherhood came on. And we're going to go over some of the stuff, the idiotic stuff that they say. It's really insane. But 29 people have died so far. That's pretty crazy. Fatalities this year continuing an alarming upward trend on deadly crashes. A man in his 50s died on Atlantic Boulevard when a teenage driver of a Honda turned into his path. According to Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, the motorcyclist was wearing a helmet at the time of the crash. In a separate incident, about an hour later, a man in his 20s died when he failed to navigate a curve. I see that happening a lot lately, too. People are failing to navigate curves, and they run off the road, they hit poles, they hit barriers, and they pass away from it. I mean, the impact from hitting them things is just crazy. You guys, if you're on my Patreon, there's a video of it's more, I think it's 5 motorcyclists are riding in a pack, and a dump truck veers off into their lane and it kills 3 people instantly. The video is on Patreon. I cannot play it on YouTube. It's too graphic. But it's pretty wild. He hit the curb and lost control and struck the median, and he passed away. As of Monday, there have been 113 deadly traffic crashes in Duval County, including separate deadly crash involving a car. 29 of those crashes involved motorcyclists. Just 8 months into 2024, they reported 16 deaths in Duval County. So it seems like Jacksonville has a pretty high death rate when it comes to people crashing on motorcycles. Staxx, I know it's off topic. I just wanted to know your thoughts and opinions on the Charlie Kirk situation. I don't really get into that, man. I mean, people are saying he was a racist and all that. I don't get into none of that. I'm not political, and I don't, it's very sad what happened to him. I was in shock when I heard about it. It's just really disgusting, the things that people are saying and doing online because of it, and I think they're lying to us about the whole situation. I don't think that kid did it. It looks like that microphone blew up in his face, but I don't know. I really don't know. Who knows? So today we're going to talk about, you guys know the situation where 16 Red Devils and part of the Hells Angels were arrested down there in the Carolinas. Well, it looks like they will be going to trial this year. Or I think next year they're going to trial. But here is a newscast from when all this first transpired.
We'll learn about efforts to keep streets and public spaces safer. 16 members of the Hells Angels are facing federal charges. Authorities say it's connected to a deadly rivalry stretching from Fayetteville to Raleigh. New tonight, Aaron Thomas speaks with a motorcycle gang investigator about how this could chip away at public safety risks, both locally and nationally. Aaron.
It ain't gonna chip away at public safety risks. Motorcycle clubs don't go out looking for problems with civilians, I don't even think they go out looking for problems with other motorcycle clubs. Things just happen. Like, I keep trying to explain to people that these clubs are not criminal enterprises. The money doesn't go up to the top. They're not all involved in things. Maybe there's some criminals that get involved, but the organization as a whole is not a criminal organization. That's the bottom line. So allegedly what happened over in this situation is this guy got killed, Lefty from the Pagans, rest in peace, and a bunch of people were indicted from the Carolinas, a bunch of Red Devils members. You could see them here, some of them. But they shot him off his bike, I believe.
Yeah, Ashley, this investigator mentioned this being a case of racketeering, also known as organized crime. He says this is really a way of just really the U.S. attorney cracking down on these gang members considered to be dangerous and getting them off the streets.
They're not gang members, by the way.
Showing the aftermath of rival gang member Jonas Padilla, who was shot and killed in Raleigh on New Year's Day in 2023, is now connected to a federal investigation. 16 people are now charged in connection with the motorcycle gang rivalry stretching from Raleigh to Fayetteville.
They want to be, kind of like the biggest, toughest kid on the playground.
We spoke with Steve Cook, a motorcycle gang investigator with more than 30 years of experience.
I don't know. Steve Cook, he's a storyteller. I don't know. He wants you guys to think that these are all gang members and it's a criminal organization, but that's not the case. These people are telling lies. They're trying to scare the public. It's a motorcycle club. It's not a motorcycle gang. I mean, it's ridiculous the way they try to spin the narrative.
Unlike street gangs, which appear to be more centralized, he says motorcycle gangs like hell.
Motorcycle gangs. It's not a motorcycle gang. And those aren't Hell's Angels. I mean, these people are so delusional. You hear the way they talk. They're intentionally trying to scare the public. Lindsay, how are you? Calvin, what's going on? Thank you guys for joining me this afternoon.
Hell's Angels run across the country.
There's a lot more connection, coordination, organization to that end.
No, there ain't. They're not as organized as you think. It's these people have it so wrong.
Organization that poses danger to the public.
It's not uncommon for them to get stupid in public places, bars, things like that, with people that are not part of the motorcycle community at all.
Court documents say members of...
Very rarely will citizens be involved and get hurt with situations involving motorcycle clubs. Collateral damage here and there, but they don't go out looking to hurt people. They don't go out to look to hurt other people that are in clubs. Like if someone's out there and someone's going to do something to you, right? And you're with your family, what are you going to do? You going to protect yourself? Of course you're going to protect yourself. So if these guys are out in a group, if someone tries to do something to them, what do you expect them to do? Protect themselves, right? So what? If they protect themselves, that means they're a gang or they're a criminal organization? They're not. It's a motorcycle club. These people are trying to scare the public with their little fear-mongering tactics.
Hell's Angels have a standing green light order under which members of the Hell's Angels Motorcycle Club are required to attack, injure, and kill any rival pagan motorcycle club members they encounter. The indictment mentioned
there'd be murders all over the place if that was true. There'd be people like, oh my God, did you hear about that? Did you hear about it? Would be every single day if that was true. You don't think they run into each other all the time? All over the country, they probably cross paths all the time. People don't hide in their house and then all of a sudden they get caught here and there. It doesn't work like that. These people cross paths all the time. So all this shit that they're trying to put a narrative, oh, they have a green light on this club to injure, attack, or kill when they encounter them. It's total bullshit. I heard a story recently where the Hells Angels had a booth where they sell merchandise, and pagans walked right by it. Guess what? There was no green light. No one did nothing to each other. So all this shit they're trying to spin on the public is bullshit. They're trying to scare people so that they can try to get convictions. That's what they want. They use the fear-mongering tactics to get convictions. It's insane.
Documents say members of Hell's Angels have a standing green light order under which members of the Hell's Angels Motorcycle Club are required to attack, injure, and kill any rival pagan motorcycle club members they encounter. The indictment mentions firearms and other deadly weapons, including knives, ball-peen hammers, and brass knuckles, often easily accessible.
Oh, man, yeah, they got to carry ball-peen hammers and brass knuckles, right? They're required. Yeah, right, Steve? According to Steve Cook, if you ride a motorcycle, you're a criminal, the worst kind, 100%. This guy's delusional.
A crackdown on this type of activity, providing a sense of security for Cook.
All these people that I talk to, right? I talk to some people that are active in 1% clubs, a lot of people that are out of the clubs. I speak to a lot of people, right? All the people I talk to that are out of the club, they're not like, oh, I left the criminal organization. I think if they were upset with the motorcycle club, maybe they would say that, right? No, not one of them have said that. So it's insane that they come on and they say that on the news for all these people who are watching the news to hear it. It's crazy. I just interviewed someone last night, and he said there's still a great motorcycle club. He's not a part of it anymore. Shout out to him. You guys will be hearing that interview soon. It's really good. It's a long one, too. And he has not been out on the internet yet. He's a former Hell's Angel. It's a great interview. Exclusive with Chattin with Staxx. And he's not bitter against them. I think if he had animosity towards them, maybe he would say, oh, it's a criminal enterprise. None of them say that. None of them. I have not heard one person that was involved with any of these clubs, even people that don't like them, don't say that. So I don't know. I don't know why these guys got their panties in a bunch. Mr. Cook and a whole bunch of other people out there that keep saying it's a criminal gang and organization. It's not.
They are dangerous people, and it's good to see things like this happening from a legal standpoint, to see them being held accountable.
I think you're an asshole, Steve Cook. Is that his name? Steve Cook? I think he's a total idiot.
Now, today in federal court, WRAL learned of a situation where some of these gang members were accused of firing guns at each other and even throwing hammers in a parking lot while people were trying to pump gas. Tomorrow afternoon, U.S. Attorney Michael Easley Jr. is expected to discuss this case outside this office in further detail.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Steve Cook said they're criminals. Fucking Steve Cook is a loser.
Power, status, and murder. It's what the U.S. Attorney, ATF, and local law enforcement say is behind the indictment of more than a dozen notorious biker gang members from Raleigh and Fayetteville.
Yeah, it's the end of a massive
Oh, no. Is Steve Cook on this one, too?
investigation. CBS 17's Baron James is live for us tonight, digging deeper into Operation Broken Halo.
Rod and Angela talk about the feds casting a pretty wide net in this violent racketeering case. In fact, catching big fish, 16 of the internationally infamous members of the Hells Angels and Red Devils motorcycle clubs.
See, they use their words wisely, right? They're like, international group and the Red Devils. They're just a local group. Yeah, they have chapters that are in different countries, but that doesn't have anything to do with this situation. So they're trying to sensationalize it. You know what I'm saying? Roxy, what's going on? Thank you for joining me today. Floyd, what's good?
People are outside shooting, firing. Yeah, it's like pow, 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 pow. and then somebody pow, 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 pow.
The 911 calls and cries for help against area rival biker gangs echoing for years.
It was about 10, 15 bikers all together. It was like literally 3 cars behind them.
Including from a deadly shooting at this Fayetteville Baymont Ramada Inn in March of 2022 that killed 3 people. And the New Year's Day 2023 North Raleigh murder of biker Jonas Padilla of the
That's Lefty. Rest in peace to Lefty.
The Pagan Brotherhood at the hands of rival gangs, the Hells Angels, and the surrogates of theirs, the Red Devils, as named in a 19-page indictment of the Fed's Operation Broken Halo.
Listen, like I said before, if there was a green light, a kill-on-sight order, there'd be murders every single day. Total bullshit. What's going on, Mick? Thank you for joining me today. So, hit this right on time. Definitely did. We're just getting started.
Our strategy is not just to focus on shooters and trigger pullers. It's also to focus on the criminal organizations and the...
He's like, we're getting people that weren't involved. We're going to get everybody. People that had nothing to do with it. That's what they do. Look at the Mongol situation down there in Florida, right? There were a bunch of people in a gas station. They arrested everybody that was in the gas station. People that had nothing to do with nothing. They arrested people that were just standing there. But they were there, so they got charged with rioting. People that didn't throw a punch, didn't do anything, and they got arrested for rioting. It's insane. It's crazy. The overcharging is insane. They did it in Texas. With the 100 and I think it was 120 people, probably more, that were arrested in the Waco thing. Nobody talked. The charges all got dropped. And you remember how they were saying about the Mongol situation in Florida. Oh, these people are the worst of the worst. They were out of jail the next day. Almost every single person on that indictment is out of prison. So they ain't that bad. They're walking the streets right now. There isn't anarchy going on and chaos everywhere. So if this was true and they had a kill on sight order, there'd be people dying every day. It's total bullshit. They're trying to scare the public. They want potential jurors to see this shit and be afraid of them.
enterprises that enable and encourage those violent acts.
U.S. Attorney Michael Easley describing Wednesday afternoon that they had launched the federal and local investigation 2 years ago.
And listen, I'm going to bring a former ATF agent on who thinks that they're a criminal enterprise, and we're going to have a discussion because, I mean, I want to see why he thinks that. He thinks that they're all criminals, and I want to bring him on, and we're going to have a debate about it because I think he's wrong. Like, a lot of these people are wrong. Yeah, people get caught up with things, but it doesn't mean it's a criminal organization. It's a motorcycle club where some people got caught up in something. That doesn't mean the whole club is a criminal organization. Paula, what's going on? Thank you for joining us.
To the indictment.
Guilt by association, 100%.
The 16 Hells Angels and Red Devils on 8 federal racketeering counts, alleging the use of violence to protect their power and their territory, including physical assault, threats, intimidation to silence witnesses, and murder. Violent criminal enterprises, the U.S. Attorney telling me that the Hells Angels and Red Devils would strategize at their so-called church.
In a facility stocked with surveillance cameras,
oh my
fortified
God, he
doors,
said church.
windows, brass knuckles, firearms, knives, and ball-peen hammers.
Does the U.S. Attorney's Office, or dare I say yourself, personally fear any sort of retaliation given the severe power that this group packs?
These groups don't keep us up at night.
Did he just say these groups don't keep us up at night? They have their strategies at so-called church. Come on. They're trying to sensationalize this shit.
And coming up on CBS 17 News tonight at 7, the strong message to the biker gangs out there from the police chief of Raleigh. In the meantime, for the indicted Hells Angels and Red Devils, if convicted, they could face anywhere from up to 10 years in prison to up to life in prison as all a part of Operation Broken Halo. We're live downtown outside the federal courthouse. Baron James, CBS 17 News.
All right, Baron, thank you.
So they will be going to trial soon. I'll get you guys an exact date on that. But it's just crazy the way that they sensationalize everything. There's just some people like Chitwood and that other guy Cook. They just don't. They fall in line with what the media says. They want to be up law enforcement's ass, you know. Hey, let them. It's just crazy. I don't understand. But like I said before, we talked about the Fort Wayne situation. They are going to trial. All 6 defendants will get tried together. Prosecutors say all men charged in the Pike Pub's battery to be tried together. It's in Allen County, Indiana. 6 men charged in what police are called a brutal beating of a man at Pike's Pub earlier this year will now be tried together. During a pretrial hearing for the men on Friday, Allen County prosecutors Michael Alexander says a motion for joinder of defendants was granted, meaning all 6 cases will be combined into one moving forward. I don't think that's a good idea because then you can't separate yourself from the situation. But I don't think they can use an informant on this case, right? Can you imagine, like, if you were there and you had, like, less culpability than the other people? You're, like, stuck going to trial with all of them. It's either all or nothing. And it's on video. There's not much you can say on that one, right? That's going to be an uphill battle in the Chattanooga area where I live. I'm glad all the clubs get along pretty much. Can come together for good causes. A lot of them do. Listen, there's a lot of clubs in small areas. And if what the news says was true, there'd be bodies everywhere. It's total bullshit. They don't want wars and problems like that. They just want to be left alone. People want to be left alone. But they try to spin the narrative. They want people to think the worst about these different clubs. And yes, stuff happens, but that doesn't mean all of them are criminals, because they're not. So today we're talking about the Comanchero Motorcycle Club. They are a force to be reckoned with out there in Australia. They are the largest motorcycle club in Australia, if you guys aren't aware. And this guy, Tarek Zahed, he is an enforcer for the Comancheros. He is a pretty well-known character. This is a picture of him as well. Now, this is when they tried to take him out. He was an enforcer at the time. He was at a gym with his brother, and 2 gunmen pull up in a car. They jump out, boom, 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 start firing into the breezeway of the gym. They hit his brother, kill him, and they shoot this guy 10 times. Shot him in the face, in the head, in the body. He got hit 10 times, and he survived. But now he's on the run, and we're going to talk about this case. This guy got hit in the eye, in the head, in the body. Crazy, and he survived. This is like a really well-known figure out there in Australia. If we got any people in here from Australia, this guy is like very well-known. So he was born in Sydney. In 1995, he was convicted of assault and resisting arrest, making his first major convictions in 2001. He was again convicted of assault after unleashing his dogs to maul a woman in a road rage incident. In 2004, he was again convicted of assault charges after stomping a man's head so hard that he fractured his skull during a drug deal gone bad. 2009, he began an association with the Comanchero Motorcycle Club, in which he later joined. In 2011, he was convicted of attempted murder after shooting a man. He rose to become the National Sergeant of Arms in the Comancheros, in charge of enforcing discipline. Assistant Commissioner of New South Wales Police called Zahed a leader of Australia's largest criminal organization. Zahed was described as a loyalist to the Comanchero's national president and supreme commander, Mark Buttle. Zahed is known for wearing expensive clothing. He has led the Australian media to dub him the Balenciaga Bikie, or the Gucci gangster. In 2020, he was convicted of living off the proceeds of crime after thousands of dollars were found in a bank account registered in the name of his children. On January 16th, 2021, he was charged with a fray after being recorded by security cameras punching and slapping around a rival in a bathroom of an Italian restaurant. On February 10, 2021, Zahed made a plea bargain with the Crown where he pleaded guilty to using violence to instill fear in exchange for him paying $1,000 Australian fine, and charge of a lie was dropped. Justice Hansen, who accepted the plea bargain, stated that Zahed was not a good citizen when he sentenced him. In July 2021, Zahed attempted to leave Australia for a trip to Turkey and Lebanon, which led to the Australian Federal Police issuing an Interpol green notice against him, which claimed to be a dangerous criminal. At the time, Buttle lived in self-imposed exile in Dubai. So he left the country, but he's still running a motorcycle club. That was the national president for the Comancheros. And it is believed that Zahed's Middle Eastern trip was in some way connected to Buttle. The Interpol notice read, the Comancheros group provides support and import and distributes drugs. If Zahed is permitted to enter Lebanon or Turkey, it is very likely that he will commit serious crimes and acts of violence under the Comanchero's name. He was denied permission to enter Turkey, but in September 2021, he entered Lebanon. Upon entering Lebanon, he sought Lebanese citizenship under the grounds that it was his ancestral homeland. He then landed in Beirut on the 11th of September 2021. He was arrested in response to the Interpol green notice against him. On September 16th, 2021, he was ordered released, but was placed under restrictions. At that time, Zahed told Beirut court that he wished to take Lebanese citizenship and did not want to return to Australia. Despite his statement, Zahed returned to Australia later in 2021. In December, he was subject to a serious crime prevention order, which prevented him from wearing his gang colors, using encrypted text messages, and placed his bank accounts under police scrutiny. To escape the order, in New South Wales, Zahed moved to Melbourne and Victoria. In March 2022, he was under an investigation by Victoria State Police in connection with a brawl outside of a boxing match in Kensington. Now, after that brawl, there was a situation that happened with his brother, and this is insane. I'm going to play a video for you guys. And this is when all this first transpired. And then we'll get to him being on the run now. This is crazy.
Based bikie boss gunned down.
Tarek Zahed and his brother Omar.
Tarek Zahed is in a critical condition at Westmead Hospital.
His brother Omar left dead at the scene.
So Tuesday night, about 8:30, phones all around Sydney's underworld were lighting up. I started getting calls. You started getting calls. Another shooting. This time the targets were big names.
Tarek Zahed, the Sergeant-at-Arms of the Comanchero Bikie gang, Australia's most powerful criminal organisation, according to some, and his brother Omar. So they were at the Body Fit gym in Auburn on busy Parramatta Road in Western Sydney. It's about 8 o'clock, 8:05 exactly. Standing in the foyer, two gunmen have pulled up outside, jumped out and unloaded, we believe, around 20 shots into the foyer of the gym, through the windows, smashing it all up, but hitting Tarek and Omar. Now, Tarek was shot 10 times, pretty much everywhere. Body, head, stomach, arms, legs, and even through the eye. That shot to his head, we believe, hit him in the eye.
That's crazy. He got hit right in the eye. I mean, look at all these bandages. This is after the situation happened. The police will not let this guy go. Like, they don't care. They are on him like flies on shit. Everywhere he goes, he tries to leave the country, they're calling beforehand, like, hey, he's on his way, go mess with him. They don't care. They think he's so powerful, they don't want him anywhere without people knowing who he is.
On our arrival, we found two male patients, approximately 25 to 30 years of age, with multiple gunshot wounds to multiple regions of their bodies.
But miraculously, he has been taken to hospital and to this point is still alive, although we're not sure exactly what kind of condition he is in. But Omar died at the scene. He had a heart attack. He was also a Comanchero like Tarek.
And it just got out of jail last year.
Yeah.
Like a number of victims, Rep Brown, he'd only just got out of jail. What surprised, I think, a few people, we talked about, the bounty that had been placed on Tarek's head. And I think, Tarek's been, a lot of people have said that he was a target for a year or two. I got to admit, I never thought that anyone would have the balls to knock off the Sergeant of Arms, soon to possibly be the president and close associate of Mark Buttles, to take him out.
Well, you would think someone of that stature would change up their routine. Like, it's like he's got a lot of money. He's obviously made a lot of enemies in his past. Craig, what's going on? Thank you for joining me today.
I was, and I think it shocked a lot of people.
Well, we talk a lot about Mark Buttle because he is this massive international drug kingpin. He just, he's a massive deal internationally. He just happens to be Australian. Yeah. He's a Sydney boy, and he's a former Comanchero.
That's the guy who was in Dubai, and he said he's a former Comanchero, so I don't know if he's still involved with the club. But I definitely have some Australian ex-bikies who are coming on the show. I've already interviewed a few of them, so go check out those interviews. Check out the interview with Brewski. He is a former bikie in Australia, and I interviewed Smurf. Check out Smurf's interview from Australia. He's with the Heathens motorcycle family.
But he's been living overseas for a number of years. But in New South Wales, it's really been the Tarek Zahed show, hasn't it, when it comes to the Comancheros?
Yeah, literally everybody knows that he and Buttles are close, and that Tarek is, and he's a big figure. Tarek was a very big figure. He was physically imposing, loved the fancy clothes and the bling.
Yes.
He loved his designer clothes. So he became quite a figure. So who would want to kill him? Well,
list as long as your arm, really.
That's right. Any figures such as the Sergeant at Arms of the Comanchero, who are involved in a number of conflicts. Now, added to that, there's an internal battle going on because the national presidency spot seems to be vacated.
Yeah.
And Tarek was considered the prime runner for that. Absolutely. So could there be somebody there quietly ambitious that maybe wanted Tarek out of the way? There's also the fact that the Lone Wolf have lost their leader, Eric, and that there's a bit of a vacuum there, and a number had supposedly gone over patched over to the Comanchero, and maybe that led to a disgruntled Lone Wolf thinking that they're stealing their club. So,
I mean, the day before this shooting happened, we wrote a story in the paper about, intelligence that police had gathered between Bassam Hamzy, who's a massive figure in New South Wales crime, and his brother Gassan Amoon, who was gunned down earlier this year, in January. And intelligence police had about, potential threats to Tarek from them. Now, they were a little while ago, but it just goes to show that this isn't a new phenomenon when it comes to Tarek. The threats aren't new.
There was talk that Omar, his brother, was involved in a brawl at the Cross on the Saturday night, which, wouldn't have led to the shooting within days, you'd imagine, because this, again, was a very seemed to be quite a well-organised hit. There was 2 stolen cars, high-end cars.
High-end cars. I mean, look at that. What is that, an Audi? An Audi? And this isn't the first attempt on his life either.
The one thing a lot of people are asking is, why did Tarek just keep going to that gym? I think you'd been told that there were people had told him, change up your...
I know, right? You're in more danger riding the subway in Charlotte. Look at that girl. What happened to that woman? That was terrible, man. Like, I don't even have words for that. That's just, like, ridiculous. Random acts of violence. It's uncalled for, that type of stuff. That guy needs to never see the light of day again.
Your routine, it's basics 101 for if you got a target on your head. Don't keep doing the same thing.
I mean, look at those bullet holes right through the front breezeway of the gym where they were, and I'm surprised that someone knew they were there, right? And like they said, the guy's brother was involved with a fight a few days earlier, like a week earlier, so it could have resulted in that. I mean, this type of stuff happens more often than you think over there. It's kind of like the Wild West over in Australia.
But he did.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, we spoke to people in the hours after he'd been shot who they were almost angry that he hadn't listened to them. They told him to change his routine. They said, don't people know which gym you go to, change it up, and he hadn't listened. But that's nothing new. So we sit here today talking about Tarek Zahed and, Omar Zahed being killed, but we sat here 2 weeks ago talking about Mahmoud Brownie Ahmed, who was gunned down in Greenacre in Western Sydney, another massive gangland figure who we'd written about having a bounty on his head. Yeah. And same thing with him. Police had warned him, told him to go overseas. His mates had told him to change the kind of car he'd driven because everybody knew what he drove and they could spot him a mile off. Whether arrogant or ignorant, he didn't do it. And it's now cost 2 men their lives in the past fortnight and 12 people their lives in the past 2 years.
So the interesting thing now is what everyone's talking about is what will happen now. You've got 2 high-profile figures in Tarek and Omar who have been shot, 1 killed, close associates of Mark Buttles. Now, everyone would expect he will come out guns blazing to try and avenge the shooting. But if it's internal, I think you'll find the guns will be silent.
So Omar's death is the 12th that we've seen in the past 2 years linked to gangland crime on Sydney streets.
12 in 2 years, that's a lot. Don't you agree? 12 gangland deaths in 2 years of high-profile individuals.
It's just rising and rising, but there's a common theme with almost every single one, isn't there?
Well, it started with Ferris Abin Nader, a former Comanchero, shot at outside his house. He was very close associate of Mick Howie, former boss of the Comanchero, believed to be going over to the Bandito. And so with all these shootings, the common thread is the Comanchero, right up until the shooting on Tuesday of 2 Comanchero. So up until then, They were the ones believed to be behind the shootings. The intelligence was suggesting, and now somebody's hit back.
And one of the biggest issues for police has been the fact that the Comanchero were already a massive organisation in their own right, but in recent years they've joined up with the Alameddine Crime Network, which has become a name that we've written about. I couldn't tell you how many hundreds of times.
The merging of these two groups is really a major problem, not just for the police, but for their rivals, like the Hamsies, wiped out almost. Let's face it. The Ahmeds are once very, very powerful family and no longer anywhere near who they were. There are still some other families out there keeping low profile, as you would, but you wonder when there'll be and perhaps those families on the outer might join together, because they're getting squeezed by this almost this conglomerate, this monolith of the Comanchero and the Alameddines. Quite frightening combination.
So Tyreek, right? So now you guys hear kind of his backstory. So once the Comanchero's motorcycle national sergeant of arms, known for the underworld as the Balenciaga Bikie, is now in the crosshairs of the NSW Police. A return to prison warrant has been issued. But when law enforcement officers raided his Sydney property this week, he was nowhere to be found. So we already talked about in the 90s and the 2000s, he has convictions ranging from assault to attempted murder. His ruthless side of the Comancheros, enforcing discipline, settling disputes, and running errands to do too dirty for the leadership. In 2022, he survived a dramatic ambush at a Sydney gym where he and his brother Omar were shot. Omar died. Zahed was struck 10 times, lost sight in one eye, and carried scars, both physical and psychological. The attack was likely marked as a turning point in his public profile. In August 2022, police arrested Zahed in a high-drama takedown at Edgecliff. Beanbags were used to disable his car windows before officers dragged him from his luxury BMW. He was shortly charged with murder, kidnapping in connection with the 2014 killing of Yusuf Assoum. But on the eve of trial, prosecutors cut a plea bargain, and he pleaded guilty instead of hindering the discovery of evidence, admitting that he directed the destruction of the bloodstained car to protect his associates. In March of 2024, he was sentenced to 3 years and 6 months, receiving non-parole period of 2 years and 4 months. He was released from prison in December 2024. So, do you guys hear this? Like, in March of 2024, he was sentenced to 3 years. How is he out of prison in December? I don't get it. A parole. So, obviously, it was parole, right? Parole revocation. And there's a warrant. The new warrant stems from allegations that Zahed breached his parole. Authorities say his parole has been revoked following suspected involvement in several violent clashes at Love Machine nightclub in Melbourne, a venue frequently associated with the Comancheros. After his property was raided, police confirmed that Zahed had been moving, splitting time between Sydney and Melbourne in a bid, it seems, to elude specialized units like the Raptor Squad. His parole is active until February 2026. So what happens if he appears in March of 2026? Does that mean he has to go back to prison? I mean, if you were in the U.S., you'd get an escape charge and all this other shit. It wouldn't just go away. We all know how that goes, right? The decision to revoke comes against a broader backdrop of suspicion over his continued influence in the gang's conflict and nightclub brawls. What he denied and what he admitted during his plea when he was on trial for the attempted murder or the murder case, Zahed denied directly being responsible for the murder itself. His admission was limited to orchestrating and disposal of the vehicle used in the crime. His attorneys argued that he acted out of family loyalty, protecting his brother Abdul from exposure. The court accepted. Isn't that ratting, though, too? Like, if he said that in court, wouldn't that be considered cooperating? He said he was protecting his brother, Abdul, from exposure. So, I mean, to me, if he says that in court, that means he cooperated in court, right? The court accepted his plea and dropped the murder charges and the kidnapping charges. Still, Zahed's fingerprints were found in the car, and gunshot residue was recovered. Evidence that tied him at least partially to the crime scene. Zahed's disappearance occurred amid shifting power dynamics in the Comancheros after leader McMurray's federal extradition control of a club in Sydney and nationally was contested. Alan Maheen emerged as the national president, edging out Zahed during his internal struggles. The insiders say Zahed relocated to Melbourne was partially to reduce police pressure and to operate more discreetly. His nickname Balenciaga Bikie underscores his reputation for designer luxury, and his image management is a stark contrast to his role as an enforcer. Zahed's status as a fugitive places him in direct confrontation with the organized crime and law enforcement. If he's found and returned to custody, he faces the possibility of reopening parole violations process, perhaps additional charges tied to recent violence. But even beyond individual consequences, this case signals a broader message. Authorities are willing to pursue high-ranking bikie figures who, despite past convictions or plea deals, may still wield influence in criminal networks. For now, Tarek remains at large, a fugitive, bringing the past and present of the Comanchero's power. His next move, caught in the crosshairs of the legal retribution, or disappearing further into the biker underworld. The story is unfolding, and I will let you know when more information is available. Now, for the time you guys all been waiting for, I know you guys been waiting for this, right? I know he has. Real outlaws riding cars and don't take showers. So, I'm going to show you guys part of a live. I thought you guys get a kick out of this one. So I'm going to show you guys a part of a live where these guys popped on and spewed their normal bullshit. And don't forget, I'm dropping part 1 of Monsoon's interview. He's the guy that's always going after the Twin Outlaw Brotherhood. I'm dropping part 1 tonight. And if you want to see it first, join the membership or go to Patreon and you can see it right after this stream's done. So let's take a look at some of this live.
I hope he's there.
Because we
It's
like
okay,
to
we know
take
you traded the
some
truck off
photos
already.
and some
What's the new
autographs
vehicle?
and give out some cards.
You guys are like the
you know
biker
what I mean?
equivalent
I
of
love it.
Liberace. It's kind
That's
of
what
insane.
we like to do, Bub.
Y'all
And if
boys
you
are
want them
Barbies.
autographs, just come on up. You know,
Monsoon.
hey, just leave your attitude though behind
Yep.
and come with some positivity and love, bro, because that's what we need on
Yeah.
the street, Eddie.
You don't spill
Come on up,
positivity
Big
or
Ed.
love. I'll show you what it's about.
Fast weekend.
Spell positivity.
And Monsoon, I hope I see you out there, bro.
I know, Monsoon, you've been hounding for our autograph. I know it, brother.
No, for real.
I mean, you keep sharing your lives to us. You want us to join your live feed. You love us so much, bro.
Y'all pretty boys are cute.
You know?
Do we know how they talk normally?
No, for real, yeah. I don't know how many's going to be out there. I think I heard the Biker Fest in Florida this year is going to be pretty big. Might be bigger
You
than
boys
last
will be
year.
ran out and you'll get an escort.
You know,
from
I
the
think it's
cops.
going to be.
So they're saying that they're going to go to the Biker Fest this year in Florida. Do you guys think this is true? Do you guys think that they'll really go to the Biker Fest in Florida? I don't think they will, but do you guys think they will? Virginia Chaos, what's going on? Shout out to you, man. Thank you for joining me today. I know I'm a little late today. It's like 5:30, but I've been so damn busy. I got an interview to do in a little bit too. So
Bigger this year because
You'll be escorted out of the bike rally. Like
get
in pink fluffy handcuffs.
Give Mom
Best
Big Debbie
rally yet.
Hey,
I just hope that
I'll put another bet down.
Anybody
wants to take this bet? Any biker rally these two fucking pussies show up to, they're gonna get ran out every time. Who wants to
I
bet that?
cannot wait to be there for that.
Who wants to fucking bet it? Are you gonna have your cell phones up and recording so you can get it? Who wants to bet? They will be ran out. Well, hey, Biggie, rally anywhere.
Do you guys have any
I'll
idea
put a
how to
hundo
not
on
talk
that.
over each other?
Where's the Black Dragon?
We gonna be ran out.
See, this guy's betting so much, he's hungry for money.
Accepted at no rally. We're gonna be ran out again.
We're gonna be ran out.
All right, that might be so, but we
Notice
want
how
to
neither
bet
of them take a
on
breath in
what
between sentences.
fucking MC is gonna run us out. Is it gonna be the Mongols?
The Angels run y'all out.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you right now. Just with the way your mouth is ran, I'll tell you.
you guys hear them talking all this shit, right? He said, what channel are you looking at, Staxx? This isn't a channel. This is from TikTok. It's a live that I recorded the other night. But I interviewed Monsoon. He's the guy who always goes after the Twin Outlaw Brotherhood. And I interviewed him last night. It's going to be dropping tonight. So they're saying in this show right here that they are going to go to Oktoberfest in Florida. And the people are saying, oh, you're going to get run off. And they're trying to say, what club's going to run us off? The Hells Angels, the Mongols, the Banditos. Like, who's going to run us off?
Biggie rally anywhere.
Do you guys have any
I'll
idea
put a
how to
hundo
not
on
talk
that.
over each other?
Where's the Black Dragon?
We gonna be ran out.
See, this guy's betting so much, he's hungry for money.
Accepted at no rally. We're gonna be ran out again.
We're gonna be ran out.
All right, that might be so, but we
Notice
want
how
to
neither
bet
of them take a
on
breath in
what
between sentences.
fucking MC is gonna run us out. Is it gonna be the Mongols?
The Angels run y'all out.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you right now. Just with the way your mouth is ran, I'll tell you. Hey, I'm going to tell you who's going to run you out.
Who's putting money on?
They only
gonna
wish
tell
they could
you.
talk as
Hold
one
on,
person.
Shut the fuck up, and I'll tell you who's going to run you out.
I'm listening.
So since you guys have ran your mouth so fucking much, I'm pretty sure the MCs have had a meeting already. And when it comes to you two dumbasses, it don't matter who sees you first. It's on green.
Yep.
You're going out of the fucking area.
But that's not the bet. We need to know what won. What MC?
I don't think they all got together and had a meeting about these clowns. I really don't think they care about them, to tell you the truth.
That's for you to find out the hard way.
See, that's the problem. You
guys can't put
you can't put the money to the mouth, dude.
Football.
I think a citizen's probably going to handle them.
Boy,
We can tell you put all your money in your mouths.
Basketball, who's going to make it to the tournament, bitch?
You put down the money or
do
shut up.
If you can't put the money down, then shut up.
Has anyone noticed that they put all their money in their mouths?
right?
Fake white ass
He
teeth.
can't even put money where his mouth is.
I mean,
He been sticking it to his mama real hard lately. That's why Justin calls Dustin Daddy.
What one's gonna have the fucking?
They need to change
cojones?
that NC to WMC.
No, you think it's the Mongols? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
But I could.
I don't think there would be any WMCs that would accept them.
Money's on the
Daddy
Mongols.
today?
Calling
Dustin Daddy or is Dustin calling you
I don't
Daddy?
think it's gonna be. Licky says it's gonna be the Vigos. I don't
Wait,
know.
guys,
said it was gonna
just for
be
the sake of just experimentation
I don't
here,
know.
can you pause
I'd say one
between
of them's
each
gonna
other
win the
talking
band.
or no?
One of them's gonna win it, right? Yeah.
Why do you guys
I don't think they ain't. You know what's gonna happen this year at Florida?
No one's gonna win that.
They ain't
They're
gonna
be
win a
paying up.
fucking thing. They're gonna be
Win
paying
out.
up because ain't nobody gonna run us out of Florida this year.
Can you talk
Aaron
like normal
Tucker
human
didn't
beings?
ran
And you guys ain't
And
even
they're
got
getting
the
ran out
money.
of
That's
Daytona.
8 grand right there. You guys don't even have it, Bob.
Wait till tomorrow. Tonight is a big show, so don't forget, 10 o'clock tonight, the interview with Monsoon will be dropping part 1. Don't miss it. It's really good. He says a lot of information that you might not know about the Twin Outlaw Brotherhood. But I appreciate you guys. I got some big interviews lined up. We're going to be pumping them out this week, so join the membership if you want to see exclusive content. If you like this show, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. And if you don't like this show, too fucking bad, start your own podcast. Hit the like button, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, tell your mother's, brother's, sister's friend about Chattin with Staxx, the dopest motorcycle content on YouTube. If you want to donate to the show, you can hit up the Cash App at Chattin with Staxx. Or you can hit up Venmo, PayPal, Super Sticker, Super Chats, Zelle, all that good stuff. I appreciate every single dollar. It goes a long way. We got tons of stuff for you guys. And if you want to tell your story on Chattin with Staxx, just hit up my email at billstax2021@gmail.com. I appreciate all you guys. And remember, don't be a bitch.
And all new at 5, a major organized crime bust. 23 people under arrest now accused of stealing guns and cash.
Today, police revealed 4 organized crime groups are wreaking havoc.
From aggravated robbery to kidnapping, burglary, and more. Let's take a look at this. New pictures from court documents in this case. These are a few of the people who have been charged. And investigators say the money, tens of thousands of dollars, is all stolen.